Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On-Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on-demand care for common ailments, such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org.
Do you ever feel like you just don't have the time to sit down and read the news every morning? Sometimes things get so hectic you can't even scroll through your feeds while you're trying to get ready. A podcast from Boise State Public Radio has you covered. I'm George Prentice, and I want to invite you to check out The Connector every weekday morning. You can get up to speed on all of the Idaho news you need to start your day without ever interrupting your morning routine. All you have to do is hit play. That's The Connector from Boise State Public Radio. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Cadet. In kitchens across the Wood River Valley, people are baking loaves of bread to help feed their neighbors. It's part of an initiative led by Community Loaves, a nonprofit that's made up of volunteers who help support local food pantries in need. Now, originally, it was based out of Washington, and the group's mission has spread quickly, with hubs popping up in Oregon and California, and now here in Idaho. So joining us to talk more about how local bakers are making a difference is Lisa Pettit, the Wood River Valley Community Loaves Chapter Hub leader. Lisa, nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So how did the Haley Hub get started, Lisa?
Well, in 2021, I was just looking for a way that I could kind of give back in the community. And I saw a Facebook post on the Hunger Coalition's website for Community Loaves and learned that it was, home bakers baking bread and donating it to the local food bank. And so I went to the website and signed up for an information session and decided it was something I really was interested in doing. And they didn't have a hub at that time. So they asked me if I'd be interested in being the hub leader to get it started. And so I've been doing that since April of 2021.
And so what kinds of things does the Hunger Coalition bake?
What kind of things do what?
Do you bake?
Oh, do we bake? We bake bread, and there are several different recipes that you can choose from. They have a honey oat sandwich loaf, a satisfying whole wheat loaf, and a sunflower rye loaf. And then they also do energy cookies, and there's a blueberry pecan and a chocolate cherry.
And explain to us, Lisa, how this works exactly. So the home bakers bake, and then where does the bread go from there?
So twice a month, we have donation dates, and they're on Sundays. And so the bakers bake between those dates. The items freeze, so you can put them in your freezer till the date. And then they bring those to my house and drop them off on a Sunday afternoon. And then Monday mornings, I take them down to the Hunger Coalition for them to distribute that week to families in need.
So walk us through what like a bake day would look like for a home baker. I mean, how many loaves are folks baking? What happens, in those home kitchens?
And it really varies on what you want to do. Some bakers bake just 2 loaves at a time. I'm able to do 4 because my mixer will do that. I can do 4 loaves at a time and bake them. And I usually bake on Saturdays, the day before donation days. And then those are just ready to go Monday morning. Some people bake during the week, and if they happen to know they're going to be gone a weekend of a donation, they can drop those off early to me. I have freezer space and put those in the freezer till our donation day. If you're doing the energy cookies, you purchase a cookie base and then you add additional ingredients to that and bake. So the cookies are a little, quicker and easier than bread, and you can choose whatever fits in your schedule and what you like to do.
Okay, so as you were talking about this, I'm thinking to myself, I've baked pumpkin bread. I've never made actual real bread. So for people who might not think of themselves as bakers, it seems like it's really easy to get involved. Maybe if you even want to start with those energy cookies, as you mentioned.
Right. And we have some that they just do the energy cookies. Some people do both. I prefer the bread over the cookies, so it just depends. And we have a couple new bakers that have just joined, and one's a little gun shy about doing the bread, so she is going to start with the cookies. But I'm like, hey, if you want to try the bread, let me know. I'm happy to help. And so we're just a small group, and we're willing to help each other out as we learn to bake. And they have debrief sessions on Zoom. So if you have questions, you can always attend one of those and get answers. Maybe something didn't turn out the way you wanted. So there's lots of resources to help you out in that too.
My understanding, Lisa, is that the flour you use for the bread comes from Hillside Grain. So why is it important to have that local connection?
Well, it's one, just to be able to use local ingredients and to support, a local business owner is wonderful. Plus, it's the grain that they grow and mill is all organic, so it's very healthy and nutritious. So it's just a great way that we can do that, to support them and provide healthy and nutritious bread for the people in need at the Hunger Coalition.
Beyond food, what do you think this project gives to the community, both to those who bake, but also those who receive these goods?
Well, I think, it's nice to feel connected to one another, whether you're someone in need or someone who's baking. And the Hunger Coalition does a really great job of trying to connect people in the community, because they provide, food for families during the week, but you can also go to the Hunger Coalition during the week, and they have a lunch, and you can enjoy lunch with anyone in the community who wants to come down there. So they've really tried to provide this connection between everybody in our community, whether they're in need or whether they're wanting to donate their time or resources to those in need. So that's kind of a nice thing for us here.
Do you have like a favorite story or maybe a moment from your time with Community Loaves that has really captured, what this volunteer work means?
Well, a couple years ago, we were, trying to kind of get our little group, together, and we ended up going to the Hunger Coalition and baking over 300 energy cookies one morning.
Wow.
And that was just a wonderful thing that we could do to come together, because normally we're just baking at home. We don't get to interact with each other, but we got to use their big commercial kitchen and do, these 300 plus cookies at one time, and, let the people at the Hunger Coalition, learn more about what we're doing as well, because they were there kind of seeing, the baking in action. So that was a fun thing as well.
How has being part of this effort really changed the way that you think, not just about food, but community and giving and volunteering?
Well, it's great to be able to volunteer and help other people. And I think when you do that, you get to understand better, someone else's circumstances, what, they might be going through. And I know here in our valley, where the cost of living is really high, there are a lot of people that really are struggling right now. And I know the Hunger Coalition feeds over 600, provides food boxes for over 600 families every 2 weeks. And I don't think I really was aware of a lot of that. So I'm a little more aware of what's happening, but also then being able to work with other people and see the different ways that people come together in our community.
If someone's listening right now, Lisa, and they want to get involved with Community Loaves, how do they do that?
You can go to their website, which is communityloaves.org, and look for the tab. There's lots of information, but if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a tab that says attend an info session. And you have two options. You can choose a live Zoom meeting, and those are different dates. And so you just sign up for one that's upcoming, or they have also put that information into a video link. And so you can watch the video on your own time. And once you've watched that, if you're interested, then you can sign up to donate. And there's no commitment that you have to donate every donation. It's just what fits in your schedule, however much you want to bake and donate. So it's very flexible.
And what if someone wants to join your Haley Hub?
So then when they sign up, then they will get to choose the hub.
Okay.
And so it will list all the hubs in Washington, Oregon, California, and Idaho. There's also hubs in Idaho in Boise, Meridian, and Idaho Falls. So there's 4 choices for us here in Idaho. And so you just choose the hub that you want to. We have a few people here in the Valley that are here only part-time. And so sometimes they'll join our hub for a few months while they're here during the summer or the winter, whatever their schedule is. And then they'll switch back to a different hub if they're, say, back in Seattle the rest of the time.
Well,
so you can switch back and forth.
Well, I want to thank you so much for talking to us about this. We've been speaking with Lisa Pettit. She is the Wood River Valley Community Loaves Chapter Hub leader about how home bakers are making a difference here in Idaho. And that'll do it for this episode of Idaho Matters. Thanks so much for listening. And just a reminder, you can find all of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
Sources and methods, the crown jewels of the intelligence community. Shorthand for how do we know what's real? Who told us? If you have those answers, you're on the inside, and NPR wants to bring you there. From the Pentagon to the State Department to spy agencies, listen to understand what's really happening and what it means for you. Sources and Methods, the new national security podcast from NPR.